I have no idea why rival fans are celebrating Liverpool getting Hugo Ekitike over Alexander Isak. If you ask me, someone like Hugo Ekitike has so much quality that you cannot be happy that Liverpool have got him. In a couple years' time, it will be the same story in terms of Liverpool having a top centre forward with the same qualities of an Alexander Isak. It would be a really intelligent move if Liverpool do get this done as it is expected to happen. In today's video, we'll be doing a deep dive on Hugo Ekitike, but also a bit of news and reading on to the news about where that deal is at the minute. But before I begin, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe and give this video a massive thumbs up. It'll be greatly appreciated. It really helps me out. The support has been really good. But let us start with the big news that basically started off the day from David Ornstein. Says Liverpool are advancing in talks with Eintracht Frankfurt for Hugo Ekitike. Proposed package exceeds 80 million euros and personal terms are not expected to be an issue. So yes, Newcastle United have been rejected. Manchester United have been rejected. Hugo Ekitike only wants to go to Liverpool, and just goes to show where Liverpool are at the minute. Every single player wants to join Liverpool. This general consensus that no one wants to join Liverpool is so far off the mark, because I've seen Ekitike, I've seen Isak happy to join them as well if a deal was able to be struck. This was from Fabrizio Romano. So Liverpool's project is one of the most exciting ones in Europe. The fact that these players really want to come to the club. We have further news from Fabrizio Romano as well. Liverpool have submitted an official offer for Hugo Ekitike. Proposal rejected as Eintracht want more. Talks continue. Ekitike has yes to Liverpool. He wants Liverpool. So there again, that reiteration that Hugo Ekitike only wants Liverpool. Personal terms are done. Fee exceeding 80 million, like David Ornstein said. I think it will be a very good deal. These are one of these players where you sign for 70 million now and you're like, my word, what a bargain, especially with the market right now. Players like Højlund going for 70 million. But yeah, no shade to him. But, you know, that's where the current market is. So someone like Ekitike for this amount of money would be really good business from Liverpool. Here again, Sami Mokbel, a very good news for the BBC, has said multiple sources have indicated that Liverpool aim to have the transfer of Hugo Ekitike wrapped up by this weekend. That is very big news. Sami Mokbel is a very good source for news, and he says that a deal could be wrapped up this weekend, which of course is a big positive. Liverpool want to get this done. They want to have players in for their pre-season. Imagine having Ekitike, Wirtz, the left winger, whether it's Diaz or even Rodrigo, who I need to make a video about soon as well. And then Salah on the right, with Szoboszlai, with Gravenberch, with McAllister. Sometimes I just look at a team and be like, wow, you know, I'll just get so jealous at the project. I just can't wait to cover Liverpool as a from a more neutral perspective. The players they've got is exciting. Can't wait to see how they all perform together. You know, that's my sort of job. I have to have it through a very neutral sort of lens. And I genuinely can't wait to see how Liverpool operate with the signings that they make. Anyway, let's get on to a bit of analysis in terms of Hugo Ekitike. Here is him compared to Alexander Isak. As you can see, the greens and the reds are sort of indicative of who's better in what criteria. And yes, I know, obviously, the Bundesliga is a lot easier than the Premier League. But again, you can see there's many things which Ekitike is very close with Isak in. I'd say that Ekitike is much better than Isak was when he was at Real Sociedad. And that's a massive statement to make. It just goes to show the level of talent we're dealing with, that Hugo Ekitike is better than Isak at Sociedad. And we saw how much Newcastle paid for Isak at Sociedad, I think around £63 million. It is a good deal. I'm telling you right now, Ekitike is good enough to come in and impact Liverpool. Genuinely is. And one of my favourite things about Ekitike is how quickly he gets a shot off. And that's probably the most accurate comparison between him and Isak. They love to take quick shots. They don't think about it too long. They're off of instincts. If he wants to shoot, Ekitike will shoot. And those sort of things are very important, especially when you're playing against low blocks, especially in the Premier League, where you have not much time to get your shot off. Someone like Ekitike will be absolutely crucial to the way that Liverpool play and score goals and really break down these low blocks. Is quite impressive, definitely, in terms of how quickly both Isak and Ekitike get their shots off. Of course, the dribbling as well is quite similar. Stylistically, would I say they're on the same level? No. Ekitike is obviously a bit younger and a bit less experienced than Isak, but they have this close control, which is mesmerizing, you know, just good on the eye, you know. Football can be as simple as just watching someone and being like, this guy looks good. You know, he looks good. He has control of the ball. He looks coordinated. He looks confident. These things are good enough to sort of be like, this player is top. This player is top. And I feel it with Ekitike. I feel this player is top. I like the way that he moves. I like the way that he sort of is with the football. And it genuinely is a joy to watch someone like Hugo Ekitike at times. And one of the biggest things that is talked about with Ekitike is XG and how he always underperforms the XG that he creates. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're a centre forward that's young like Ekitike and you're underperforming your XG and you're already scoring what? we'll talk about it a bit later in terms of how many goals he scored. That's very positive. In Europe for under 25 strikers, only Haaland and Mbappe come close to the XG generated from Ekitike. Imagine against low blocks, against those very stubborn mid blocks as well. You need a player that's able to create nothing out of something. Something out of nothing, more like, sorry. Ekitike is that. He can certainly make something out of nothing. And Liverpool need more of those players. And look at Isak as well, just under him. It's so weird how many transferable traits between Isak and Ekitike there is. It's quite exciting and quite uncanny how close they are in terms of, traits. It genuinely is. There's some big positives to somebody like Hugo Ekitike when you've got your main target as an Isak for sure. And of course, the FBref model. I think I've shown you guys Ekitike's FBref model so much, whether you're a Newcastle fan watching this or a Liverpool fan. You know about the FBref model. Here it is, non-penalty goals. I don't even need to go through this. Look at the greens. It's as simple as that. The greens should be indicative of a top player. This is up against other top strikers in Europe's top 5 leagues, and he's comfortably the best in each criteria, especially in the per 90 stats. He's the top 6%, top 5%, top 3%. It's genuinely impressive how the stats and data show Ekitike to be the top centre forward he is already. We're not even thinking about potential. We're talking about right now. And it's funny, I'm wearing my Arsenal shirt, the one which Henry was donning all those years back. I get the comparisons in terms of style and aura. I hate that word, but feel. I get it. There's a lot of similarities. Obviously, Henry is a different breed. It's just so exciting. Off of the left, Ekitike has that same bend and confidence of the shot. Is he always accurate? No. Is he going to always try and do the shot? Yes. Is that going to work more times than it won't, especially as he gets older? Yes. These are the things you look for as a scout. What sort of qualities is Ekitike showing now? Are they coming off? Will they come off with more game time experience and with better players in and around him as well? Ekitike will go up tenfold. We saw Marmouche at Frankfurt, very good. At City, again, you can see the qualities. It's transferable. I've talked about it many times. I feel like the Premier League is heading into an era where it's very comparable to the Bundesliga. It genuinely is in terms of the way the game is going. Pace, athleticism, quality, transitions. All of those things are very key in the Premier League right now. And Hugo Ekitike, as I said, we'll talk about his goal record. 34 GA and 48 is ridiculous, Even at PSG and Frankfurt, 6 GA and 17, 8 GA and 32. There was one with Rems as well where he had 12 GA in around 23 games. That's top. This is genuinely a top centre forward with such good qualities, and he's still good in front of goal. I know it's always overstated his XG and he doesn't score enough goals. No, this guy is going to be really good in 2 years minimum. I genuinely believe it. But here's a couple of the goals which I really enjoy from Ekitike. There's one against Spurs. Dynamism, cutting inside, confidence, struck the ball really well. And this one as well against Ajax, one of my favourites. Look at this. Through the legs, whips it. Just imagine once he gets that consistency with this movement and coordination, how dangerous and how good this guy is going to be. It's genuinely scary. But anyway, that's it for now. Hope you have enjoyed. And until next time, peace.